When improvising in music, there are only four things that a musician can do. He can, he or she can continue what's happening, inverse it, um, change the tempo, or start a new thread. Or I'm not sure on the technical detail because my authority on this is I heard this in a drama workshop about improvisation about 20 years ago when our instructor just referred to what he'd heard a musician say. So as you can see, I'm speaking with absolute authority. But it's an interesting concept to take into role-playing games, when improvising is an essential part, and um, it's a useful sort of way of thinking about what to do next. The first thing is continue. If things are working and the players are happy, there's no need to change. Don't bring in anything significantly different. Just continue as you are. You'll be able to, with time and experience, you'll be able to sense whether continuing is the best thing or whether a change is necessary. Don't always think a change is necessary. Sometimes you just need to let things play out. This comes with experience. Musicians do not try improvising. They need to develop a good level of music before they're able to improvise. Maybe it's the same with role playing. I've heard a lot of videos saying you don't need to prepare. Until you've got some experience and some feel for the game down, preparation is useful. It's like practicing, it's like rehearsing, it's like getting ready for the game, which is like a performance to a musician. The second option you have is that I mentioned, I think, was inversion. In music, instead of going da 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 da, that go da 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 da, it's a sort of reverse of what was done earlier. Reverse of the sort of direction that is expected to they expect things to take. So in role-playing games terms, it's a surprise. Bring in something unexpected. Bring in the unexpected. Something's a similar theme or something similar, but the reverse of maybe what they had planned or what they expected. If they're meeting paladins, one of them could be Oathbreaker paladin, their enemy, or an enemy could turn out to be a friend. Whatever, an inversion of the expectations. The other, third option, change the tempo. Sometimes you need to speed things up. Sometimes you need to slow things down. If all your adventures are at the same tempo, same pace, it really gets a bit boring. If you're always driving the action on, then the players will feel driven, and people who are driven are slaves. Don't make your players slaves to your plot. Give them time to breathe and for them to control things. There are times when you do need to drive them. Don't let them control everything. Sometimes drive them on, but it's a balance of let them drive, let the GM drive, and swap over. The last one is change themes. In my campaigns, I like to have one overall theme that I've kind of decided with the players before, the background idea. For example, I'm playing in in theory, Tyranny of Dragons, but except for the opening scene and the fact that they're facing the plots of Tiamat to return to the Forgotten Realms, it has very little to do with the published adventures by Wizards of the Coast. But that is a central theme. Dragons are their enemies. The dragon cult, kobolds, and ultimately Tiamat are their opponents in this. But interwoven with that main theme are a number of other themes that I can pick up and drop as we go along. Each character has a sort of their own theme that they're following. And we don't always touch on each one in in an adventure or in a session, but like a piece of orchestral music, there are different things going through the campaign. There's one main one and other sort of movements which come in and leave as as we as I, the GM, feel is necessary. And sometimes it's player directed. They take up their own themes when they want and just decide to do something character based. The other the other sort of maybe a theme. I don't know whether it's a theme, but each location also has a sort of flavor or a moment, a kind of feel about it. Typical encounters, and I bring in the local theme as they travel around and explore things. Each locale is different and has its own character, so that's another theme. I bring in an encounter which illustrates the sort of mood or theme of the location they are in. This is my style of improvising, and it's improvising is an essential or common part of any role-playing game. There are times when the players will put you on the spot and you need to improvise, and improvising is an enjoyable part of the game. Hopefully this will give you some more fuel or a different approach to bring to your improvising, and hopefully your games will be better. My name is Caius. I love role-playing games, and I hope to see you in one in the future.